Best running camera you can buy in 2024.
Is this a good time to go running?
I think it's a no-brainer. Let's talk about it. Today we're talking about the Insta360 Go 3, and we're talking about running.
That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run.
Jogging or running, all that kind of stuff. If you do that, I think I found the camera for you. So I did a couple reviews on this camera, a return video, which I did not like this camera when it first came out. And then I repurchased the camera used. I got the black one, 128 gig. And I have now fallen in love with the camera because I understand its limitations and I understand what it can do, what it can't do, what it's good for. It is a tool in your kit that captures things that some things can't capture. How I do this is I do not bring this base station with me. I just take it out, and then all I have to worry about is this little guy here. Option one is on my chest. This magnet sticks very good with a sweatshirt on, a hoodie on. Of course, the summertime is coming up, so we'll all be wearing just like running shirts, that kind of thing, and this is not coming off.
It's the one that you'll bring every time and not care, because I put it right here on the pendant and I leave it there. So I'll do a little of this, put back on the pendant, and we're good to go.
So basically you don't have to put it in your pocket. You can just leave it right here the entire time and you are good to go. If you do put it in your pocket, just be wary that it is very easily activated. So if you just touch your side of your pant as you're running and you kind of hit it, this camera will turn on. And then you won't know it until it's kind of burning a hole in your pocket because it gets kind of hot. That's when you realize you're like, oh man, I've been recording the whole time.
But you're pretty much guaranteed to hit it on accident and you'll start recording in your pocket. That happens all the time.
So I suggest leaving it here, or another option is to use this hat mount that goes up here. I mount it upwards like this so it's not in your eyesight and you can't see. You put it on top, and then when you run, you can get a lot better perspective, especially if you're trail running. This is it right here. Don't put it here when you trail run, or even when you do run and you want to get a nice smooth like hyperlapse. No. This is more for holding it while you're running, not recording, pulling it off, recording, putting it back on, running again. You can, and I'll show you some videos of me having it here running. The camera is doing its best it can with its stabilization to keep things smooth, but I mean, you can only do so much. When you got a camera doing this back and forth, what do you expect? But when it's up here and you keep your head pretty straight when you run, it's gonna be a nice smooth hyperlapse when you run. Versus if you have a bigger camera like a Action 4 or a GoPro, this is what you would do. I don't like this running because it feels like it's all around my neck and it'll bounce like this. Old school, older, right? We have the GoPro chest mount. This goes on here, wraps around your shoulders here, on your back, right here. This can be done for a long time. You can run the entire marathon, whatever, with this thing on. You just have that bigger camera. That's it. It's just a matter of convenience. This is a whole contraption. This is just one little small camera the size of your thumb on your chest. Now, you have to weigh image quality versus convenience. So image quality is going to be better on the GoPro or the Action 4. It's going to be better. Bigger sensor, 5.3K in the GoPro, larger sensor on the Action 4. But this is going to be good footage. I shoot in flat and I reduce the sharpness by 2 and noise reduction by 1. And then I, in post, will add a little bit of sharpness, bring up some of the darks, to kind of tone down that haziness that once in a while you get with the Insta360 Go 3. So you had to make that decision. Do I want to bring all this stuff, or do I want to have something very small and out of the way? GoPro does come with a head strap, but I mean, come on. You've seen that head strap before. It's free. Normally GoPro used to give it to you, and that thing would just be all over the place. So this is a lot easier. So in 2024, as of right now, which is in March, first part of March, this is the best running camera out there. Now again, I told you I don't bring the base station with you. You can if you want to put this in your pocket, if you have the room for it. I just don't like all that stuff in my pocket when I run to be flopping up and down. So I used to run like a longer distance, like 8 or 9 miles per run, but I'm getting older and it hurts my legs to run that far, so now I'm averaging maybe 4 miles a day in running. Nothing great, nothing crazy, but I just bring the camera, I don't bring the base station with me. And I showed you another video that I just used the Apple Watch as my remote. When you first set up your Go 3, you have to go in and you get 2 options. Button 1 or double press, and those are your 2 kind of preset things you have ahead of time. So if you just have this with you, you press 1, it activates the first press. If you double press, it activates whatever you set up for the second press. And you can set up whatever you want on either one of them. You can set up pictures, you can set up video, you can set up free frame. It is limiting. And that's one of the negatives I had about this camera, is that I wish you can control it like the Action 2 was able. You can control everything within the small camera itself. So there is an app for Insta360 on your Apple Watch, if you have one, that you can go in and connect to your Go 3, and then you can change whatever you want. You can go to pictures, you can go to hyperlapse, you can do whatever you want to within that app on this device as you're running. So I have video set up for number 1, and I have freeform at 50 frames per second for number 2. But if I decide I want to get a hyperlapse or a picture from this camera, I need to go into my watch and then get that done. So it's an option I have. So if I'm on a hike and I get to the top of the mountain, whatever I am, and I'm like, you know what, I really would like a picture of all this versus a video, then you can use your app to go in and set up a picture and actually do a timer, put it up somewhere, get a picture of yourself in the background, all that fun stuff with this little bitty small camera, not your phone, it won't get in the way, and then back on your chest and continue your run, or back on top of your hat, whatever you want to do. You can also clip it to the back of your hat to get the backside view if you want to get that shot. A lot of options you can with such a small camera. All right, not sponsored, bought this myself.
Friday, and I'm broke.
They've never contacted me for anything.
It's Friday, and I'm broke.
I'm not trying to spin you on Insta360. That's it for this one. Thanks guys for watching. And next up, we'll talk about the ZV-1 Mark II and whether it's going to stay in my kit. It's up there. See how it does today.
So if you're into cameras and you're into running, you gotta get this thing. It's too much fun. Except there's one thing bad. You stop a lot on your run to take pictures and do whatever, do silly stuff.